Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. In the last episode, we got to spend some quality time with Machina and Amane. It was actually really sweet too. She was sitting on our lap and being her typical kind of lost puppy little sister self, although we saw more of her than I was expecting to see at this point in the game, but that's neither here nor there. We also learned about her incredible skills to basically memorize things just by skimming over them, at least if they're in black and white, which is a pretty awesome skill.
On a very limited level. I used to be able to do that with boards in a classroom.
I mean, let's be honest here. If you can regurgitate it for the test, you're set.
Oh, it was great for like English classes. If the teacher put like all the important stuff about a book on the board,
boom.
Be like, all right, got it.
Yeah, it makes a difference. But you know where you don't need to worry about tests except for fitness ones? Gym class. Segue. There's no gym teacher in this school, but that hasn't stopped some shameless individual from putting physical education on our schedule. So what do? A healthy spirit dwells in a healthy body. It's easy to laugh these words off as a relic of the baby boomer generation's Neanderthal obsession with building character through guts and willpower, but...
Oh, can you feel it? Whatever it was.
Oh man, what a throwback.
I don't even remember it all the way.
You know what? I remember vague bits and pieces of it, but I did understand the reference you were making. And that counts.
Yep.
In fact, it seems there actually is a good amount of scientific data.
Do you have it? That's what it was. Do you have it? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I believe that...
Yeah. All right.
Right. Speaking of having it, it seems there actually is a good amount of scientific data linking moderate physical exercise to positive psychotropic effects. Personally, having been brought up with the simplistic lesson that basic physical strength decides things in the end, I don't have any objection to moving my body. That said... Leroy Jenkins? Amane's pointlessly powerful voice resounds across the field. In response, there's a vaguely apathetic chorus of, yeah, from her classmates. An unenthusiastic, yeah, from the transparently disinterested Michiru. A dopey, yes, from Machina, unintentionally draining any shred of motivation from all who hear it. A vigorous, yeah, from Sachi, who's taking everything seriously as always, but her voice cracks shrilly at the clearly unfamiliar exercise. And finally, stony silence from Sakaki, who's sulking like a prideful middle schooler forced to participate in a children's athletic meet. The only one of the bunch with any real energy would be Amane, thrusting her fist toward the heavens from her position on the mound. As for me, without the beginning of a clue as to what's about to take place here, I'm staring absent-mindedly up at the sky. And how are you doing today, everybody? Wow, breaking the fourth wall here.
Hey, Amane.
Oh, なんじゃい俺
Busting out the full Kansai dialect.
Why are you so ridiculously fired up?
うちの子たちってなんでかみんなインドア派っていうか体を動かすのが嫌いな子が多くてね。
That's gonna make for some boring scenes later.
こうしてから元気でテンション上げていかないとなかなかやる気出さないのよ。
なんだ貴様らどいつもこいつも青秒炭みてえな顔しやがって気合を入れろジジイのファックの方がまだ気合が入っているこの腐れまっ子供
Oh my god, the bleep. Oh my... Which part got the bleep?
The last one.
Oh, that was fantastic. I love it.
Well, seems like we've got someone exploding with a weird sort of, drill sergeant energy at least.
Yeah, really.
ちょっと待っててね。マキナ、ちょっとこっちおいで。
Uh-oh.
From an 11 to an 8.
Uh-huh. Amane seizes Machina's head from above like a basketball and forcibly carries her off into the shadows. Uh-oh.
マキナ、元気なのはいいけど、言葉遣い気をつけようねっていつも言ってるよね。わかりましたか？
To be fair, if there is no PE teacher, it means you won't get reprimanded. except for by Amane.
痛い痛い、あまね、痛いってば、割れちゃうの。そんなにしたらマキナ壊れちゃうのよさ。ダメ。
She's one step closer to the edge and she's about to break.
だからラメって言っちゃダメだぞ。
Every little thing you do.
I'm just imagining Elmer Fudd singing that song.
Me too. Somebody has to have made that, right?
Oh, if they haven't, we need to save that in our back pocket for an idea. Nobody take that idea. That's ours, damn it. You heard it here.
Wait till we do karaoke.
Oh my god. Yeah, you know what? It's like when we used to play Rock Band.
It really is.
Yep. Amane's voice somehow manages to be both sickly sweet and ice cold. It's enough to send shivers down my spine. Makina's bitter, heart-rending screams don't help either. I think Amane's trying to maintain a relatively kind tone of voice, but she's actually more frightening as a result. It crosses my mind that this could very well be described as bullying, but considering the current climate of hypersensitivity towards such matters, I'll refrain from voicing any hasty conclusions.
どうでもいいけど、やるならさっさと始めましょうよ。時間なくなるわよ。
Why, what else do you have going on?
That's fine by me, but what exactly is it we're doing?
いつものスポーツでしょ。バカバカしい。どうして私がこんなことに付き合わなければいけないのかしら。
Oh my god, that feels like me. It's like, what are we watching? Sports. What kind of sports? Sports.
Word?
I was hoping for more specific details, but playing sports in gym class hardly seems ridiculous. More like completely commonplace.
それは
Okay,
私からご説明しましょう。
You might... Did you have gym class at our high school?
Yes.
Did you have the gym teacher who loved to have people play dodgeball?
You know, honestly, at this point, I do not remember.
I remember because I remember that was the most imbalanced thing in the world. Because he would divide the teams based on... Effectively, were you on a... Did he know you or not?
Oh,
Which meant,
yeah.
were you on a sport team? If so, you were on team 1. If you were not, you were on team 2.
Yeah, that's starting to trigger a few synapses, so yeah, maybe.
Alright, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give anybody 3 guesses as to which team always won.
Yep.
Before that, I've got an unrelated question, if that's alright.
はい、どうぞ。
Why are you the only one in a maid uniform?
She doesn't have a sports uniform.
Valid question.
No, I was thinking it too.
はい。
Don't give me that nonplussed look. You know, for a second, you almost convinced me that I'm the strange one here.
We're all strange here.
あ、この服ですか？よくご覧になれば一目瞭然かと存じますが、ご覧の通り、これは体操用のメイド服で。
What is it, moisture wicking?
Alright, let's move on. Shouldn't have asked.
My mistake. The strangest thing here wasn't her clothes. It was me expecting anything resembling common sense from a student at this school.
Okay, so what exactly does sport involve here?
Well, there's some running, and there's some throwing.
ですね。なんと言いますか、種目の名前はないんですよ。
What?
キックベースのような、サッカーのような、ソフトボールのような、ドッジボールのような。
Oh, that somehow...
Those aren't the same sport.
No, not at all. They have one common thread. It's the ball.
No, I mean, even the dialogue, like what she said was not the same as those.
ソフトボールのような、ドッジボールのような。
Oh yeah, you're right.
What kind of extreme sport is that? All I got from your description is there's probably a ball involved?
Ah, that's what you would think, but it's actually a bee's nest.
はい、使用するのはバレーのボールです。
Wait, what? Sachi hands me a large round ball that she'd been holding on to.
このボールをあそこのピッチャーマウンドから投げまして、バッターボックスに立った打者が手にしたバットでそれを打ちま
But
す。
you couldn't... Okay.
Oh. Mm.
They hit a volleyball with a bat.
はい。打球が内野に転がったら、打者は一塁へ向かって走ります。
Okay.
守備側は打球をキャッチして走者に向かって思いっきりボールを投げつけます。それが走者に当たったらアウトです。3アウトでチェンジです。
What if someone catches the ball on the fly?
それもアウトです。その辺は野球に近いかもしれないですね。
Okay.
Okay. When and why did this strange game come into fashion?
別に流行ってるわけじゃないわよ。ただうちの学校って今まで学生が5人しかいなかったから何をやるにしても人数が足りなかったのよ。
Yeah, that is a really good point. You really can't play anything with 5 people.
Well, actually, hold on. My bigger question is how, but you would run to first base. I guess you never run to second base, right?
I don't know. We haven't gotten that far.
Because if you end up on first base, if the bases get loaded, all of your players are on base or at bat, except for the person pitching, and they'd have to be the only fielder.
Yeah, you're right.
それにソフトボールをやりたいとかドッジボールがいいとかいろいろと意見が分かれまして。
You know, I feel like you could just play a 2-on-2 game of basketball.
You know, that's what I was thinking would be the most logical thing, and then you got somebody on the bench and they take, I don't know, they pop in from time to time.
Yeah. Or you have, like you do games almost like a horse or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Yeah. I think of other games you could play with 4 or 5 people.
I mean, I guess you could do something like badminton or ping pong.
Oh, yeah.
And something. Yeah.
Yeah, anything that's designed around doubles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot you can do with 4 people. Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you ended up just doing all of them at once. What's this you're doing, Sakaki?
そうやって何でもかんでも私のせいにしないでほしいわね。
Well, not everything.
もう確かに言い出したのは私だけれど。
Ah, okay.
And don't complain when I blame you.
いつまで経っても意見の一致が見られないから。だったら全部やればいいと言っただけよ。
Okay.
別に全てをいっぺんにやれと言った覚えはないわ。
Yeah, that sounds more like a Michiru idea.
それよりもルールが理解できたのならさっさと始めてほしいのだけれど。
No, we don't. We've had a fraction of what I assume are the rules explained.
What about Amane and Michiru?
いるわよ、ここに。
引っこ抜けかと思ったのよさ。
Rip what?
What exactly?
首とか
Oh.
魂とか。
Okay.
Amane.
何よ、教育でしょ。この子ってば注意してあげないとどんどん汚い言葉を覚えてバンバン使いたがるんだから。
Fair.
She lets her go for a week and all of a sudden it's just Gilbert Gottfried comedy.
Either that or an unchecked AI chatbot.
Are you her mother or what?
And
I
so,
mean, kind of.
well, yeah, actually, either mother or big sister.
Yeah.
And so, after 15 minutes of wasted time, with Amane's second shot of, all right, let's do this, our bewildering match of mystery extreme sports begins.
I like how it sounded less like Leroy Jenkins and more like a crazy taxi driver.
You know, you're actually pretty right. That it was
No, it
somewhere
really
in between.
did sound like that. Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about it the other day, that and Midtown Madness, so it was fresh in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Man, I miss Crazy Taxi.
I know. It makes me miss the Dreamcast.
Oh, Dreamcast was legitimately, like, that was my childhood console.
Such a great
Like,
console.
it really was.
I know we've had this conversation before, but it's just, we're reveling in the nostalgia.
We really are, because this is a console that I had as a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that actually console probably more than anything else got me into gaming at all.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
Because I went over to my friend Chris's house,
Mm-hmm.
and he and his sister Sarah had a Dreamcast, and this was in like probably 2000 or late 99 when you know, in that era. And as a kid, I just thought it was ridiculous how good it looked, because
It was.
well, because even like game wise, I had seen 64s and I had seen, you know, like Babysitter's Genesis, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And compared to that, Dreamcast looked ridiculous, and I was like, "This is amazing."
Oh, it was
And
a
a lot of
gorgeous
the fun
system.
games we played, and then when I got one, you know, I just started collecting games for years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That one definitely was a great one.
anyway, we would love to play some Dreamcast games at some point. Boy, I'd love to genuinely for this channel.
No, I would too.
I would love to figure out a way to do something like House of the Dead.
Yes.
Something like that.
Oh, that would be so good.
It really would be.
Through the impartial results of rock, paper, scissors matches, the teams are divided as follows. Bear team. Pitcher, Suo Amane. Catcher, Sakaki Yumiko. Fielder, Isiru Makina.
Can I read the Rabbit team?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Rabbit team. Pitcher, Kazami Yuuji. Catcher, Amane Sachi. Fielder, Matsushima Michiru.
Oh, I didn't realize we were going to be doing it thematically. Damn, I could have reread the Bear team. Oh well. Our Rabbit team ends up being the first to bat. The leadoff batter dons a softball helmet, grabs a colorful metal bat, and takes her place at the batter's box.
よーしかかってきなさい
With a grating high-pitched shout, Michiru thrusts her bat out to point at the pitcher's mound, where Amane is settling into her stance with the volleyball in hand.
What's this? Considering how apathetic she was, Michiru's gotten surprisingly into it now that the game started.
ええ、みちる様は何と言いますか。とりあえず何でも嫌ってみて、何にでも面倒くさがってみるところから始める人なんですけど、
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of picked up on that.
いざ始まってしまえば一番ムキになる方ですから。
I see. But I'm willing to bet she's also the first one to get bored.
Probably.
ご明察です。
Unaware of the critical analysis she's receiving from her teammates, Michiru takes a few vigorous practice swings, then glares up at Amane.
前回の借り今日こそ返してあげるわ
What's the score, 29-0?
あー、なんだっけ、おめえ挽回
ちょっと言い間違えただけでしょ人の小さなミスをそうやっていつまでもネチネチともう
Watching Michiru stamp her feet in frustration in the batter's box, I whisper to Sachi, who's sitting next to me on the bench.
So what happened last time?
はい、前回の授業でみちる様は天音さんから1点も取ることができなかったんです。
Okay, it's sounding like I was on point.
それでまあ試合終了後に大きな声で「このおめえはいつか挽回するから覚えていなさい」と。
I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time!
Ah,
Disgrace tends to be something you want to repay, not regain. I guess the words are kind of similar. Michiru must have gotten all excited and shouted out a garbled sentence before she even knew what she was saying.
just a thought here. Might Michiru be something of an idiot?
Maybe.
私の口からは何とも申し上げにくいです。
Oh, that counts.
そこ聞こえてるわよごちゃごちゃうるさい
Sorry, didn't intend to distract you. We'll keep quiet. Please regain as much disgrace as you like.
だからおめえは返上するもので挽回するものじゃないのよラッキー
As Michiru screeches like a drugged monkey and brandishes her bat overhead, Amane's first pitch sails over the plate.
ストライク。
こらずるいわよ
なんもずるないわ。試合はもう始まってんねんえ。
屈辱だ
Receiving the return throw from Sakaki, Amane carefully finds her foothold on the pitcher's mound, a fearless smile on her face.
ほら第2球行くわよ来い
With that intense shout, Michiru takes firm hold of her bat and fixedly watches Amane's pitching motion. Looking closely, Michiru's got the position of her hands on the bat reversed, but if I mention that now, I get the feeling her only response would be another "shut it." Guess I'll just watch over her gallant battle with silent respect. Amane twists her long limbs into a sidearm motion, and the volleyball soars toward the squatting Sakaki's hands at an ideal velocity and angle.
うおーホームラン
With an explosion of energy, Michiru swings her bat at full force, but tragically, she cuts through empty air a good 10 centimeters above the top of the ball, her blonde twin tails swinging aimlessly behind her.
2ストライク
See, the trick is she should be using her hair to hit the ball.
Agreed. You know, when I think about it, and this is something I thought of when they first mentioned this,
All right.
this would be dreadfully inefficient for multiple reasons. In terms of the weight of the ball and the velocity it would come versus your swing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You very
Yeah.
much would have to aim lower than you'd think.
Also, like, your force would have to be significant
Oh, yeah. I just...
to really make it go anywhere. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and they said it has to be toward the midfield, so that means there's going to be a lot of foul
Yeah,
balls. Michiru slams her bat on home plate in a towering rage.
ふんあと1球よみちるちゃん
ちゃんって言うな子供扱いしないでよ次こそは打つこの日のために編み出した伝説の打法が
Hey, Michiru,
何よ
you've got your hands wrong.
は
You're batting right, so your right hand should be on top. You got it backwards.
知ってるわよわざとよどう持つのよ
I'm doing it on purpose. How do I hold it?
I mean, you're obviously clueless. Hold it with your right fist higher on the bat, your left fist below.
そういうことはもっと早く言いなさいよなんなのよもう
ねえ続けていいの
いいわよいつでも来なさいよもう少し待ちなさいよ
Wait,
どっちなの
she's a switch hitter. As Michiru bears her fighting spirit, Amane's face briefly suggests a dubious, "Are you sure about that?" But she's not the type to think too hard about this sort of thing. Her expression soon gives way to a smirking grin.
んじゃあ全力でいくよ
Forcefully swinging the ball up in her right hand, Amane takes a step forward on the mound, throwing the movement of her entire body into the pitch. The ball flies out of Amane's hand, whistling through the air directly at its target, which is Michiru.
みちる様危ない
Bunt!
想定通りよ
Wait, what? Michiru, anticipating the beanball, pulls back half a step with her pivot leg and swings her bat in a wide arc.
くらえ伝説のピッチャー返し
Somebody's gonna get hit by the ball. Michiru's vigorous stroke of the bat catches the ball beautifully in the sweet spot, sending it flying back toward Amane on the mound.
あれは伝説のピッチャー返しです
This is just what's it called, bite or something like that,
Yeah.
isn't it? Where you deal the damage back. With,
Yep, pretty much,
it
except for
double?
double. Yep, that's bide.
Yeah. You know, that's what she screamed, so I would assume.
Exactly where and how this thing became a legend is a question for another day. The ball rushes straight back toward Amane, who's still in an awkward position from releasing her pitch. That thing's going to hit her. Or so I thought for a split second. Amane nimbly recovers and takes a firm stance as the ball approaches her.
なの必殺ピッチャー返し返し
She just falcon punches it back. Turning to the side, she swings back with her left elbow and unleashes a firm right-handed fist stab in model karate form. Wow. With a resounding thud, the ball is sent flying back toward where Michiru stands in the batter's box.
ぬぬおのれこさく
Oh
な
my gosh.
ピッチャー返し返し返し
It actually just became a weird, twisted form of volleyball.
It is volleyball.
Yep. Michiru fires it right back.
無駄だピッチャー返し返し返し返し
Please keep going.
返し返し返し
Oh my god.
ピッチャー返し返し返し返し返し返し
Right off the bat, and we already find ourselves in a deadlock? It's a metapod battle. Or rather, what the hell is with this development? I'm sort of reminded of those martial arts matches where both fighters run into the center of the ring at the first gong, stop dead, and just start bashing away at each other, but where do things go from here? Are they planning to repeat picture paybacks until they just run out of steam? I can't read the next move. A strange game. There's no apparent path to victory for either side.
Wait, are you on the other team?
I think she's just enjoying the chaos.
Hey, yeah, that's fair. Hey, Sachi,
はい、なんでしょう。
what exactly is a picture fact?
さあ、おそらくですけど、マキちゃんは舌が短いので、ピッチャー返しと言おうとしてセリフを噛んだだけかと。
Okay, that makes sense.
I see.
ピッチャー返し返し返し返し返し返し返しなんとピッチャー返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し
Oh, it's a good thing this isn't a drinking game. We'd all be dead. Sparks continue to fly as the battle to the death between mound and batter's box continues along its repetitive course. But, I mean, what exactly are they getting all worked up over? It's too damn hot for this. But I suppose women have their own battles that must be fought to the bitter end. This is clearly a contest between two truly indomitable spirits.
By the way, Sachi,
はい、なんでしょう。
just how long is this feudal exchange gonna keep going?
さあ、おそらくはどちらかが諦めるか飽きるかするまでだと思いますけど。
Truly thrilling, edge of your seat battle of will. Mind if I use this opportunity to go buy a drink?
あ、私が買ってきましょうか。
No, I think I'll get it myself.
At my words, Sachi skewers me with a searching glare.
まさか榊さんみたいにジュースを買いに行くって言ってそのまま帰ってこないつもりじゃないですよね。ダメですよ。
No. As the thought, damn, she saw through me, runs through my head, I make eye contact with Sakaki, who's still crouched behind the plate.
なんなのこっちを見ないでくれる
So there was a previous offender, eh?
うるさいわねこんなの時間の浪費だわ
I can't argue with that. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like when you have a ball bouncing back and forth from those hydraulic panels in Portal.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it really does.
Yeah.
Well, can't argue with that.
So we resign ourselves to watch over their battle to the end, with the calm gazes of the elderly watching their overly energetic grandchildren skip rope with all their might. But just as I'm beginning to think that this fiery clash of pride between Michiru and Amane might truly never end, the conclusion arrives in an unexpected form.
ピッチャー返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返し返しピッチャー返し返し返し返し
Did she bite her tongue?
Hey, Sachi,
はい、なんでしょう。
what does that ga just now signify?
さあ、おそらくですけれど、
Oh.
天音さんが足を滑らせて足首をくじいた音ではないでしょうか。
Yeah, that feels like it's probably more accurate, because if that was the sound of her biting her tongue, she probably doesn't have a tongue anymore.
I see.
Wait, should that be my reaction here?
So isn't that kind of bad?
やばいですか？
Sachi stares blankly back at me for a moment. After a beat, her eyes widen and her mouth springs open.
いえ、やばいですよ。
Yep, a little bit of a delay in response. As we hurriedly jump off the bench, Machina is already rushing up to Amane, who is currently writhing on the ground. Mound. Oh my god.
We just see a little thingy. When was this game made again?
2010?
2010, and it just says like 1992 to 2010, and then you just get the music. Don't you forget about me.
Hey. いたたたた
Oh, she's okay. Although it might look like a slapstick comedy scene if you squint, the atmosphere is actually pretty tense. Until a burst of out-of-place laughter breaks it. Yep, there's Michiru.
それ見たことか
Wow, read the room. Michiru points toward the mound with her right hand, the left hand resting on her hip, her proud face the image of woman triumphant.
ああこの私にこの私に勝負を挑もうなんて10年早いわよ
And then she collapses.
Should you really be striking a victory pose right now? You're completely burned out yourself.
うるさいわねこの程度なんてことダメごめんクラクラするサチ酸素持ってきて
She just runs back to the locker and brings an oxygen tank. Her faint voice abruptly failing her altogether, Michiru's body begins to shake violently. She collapses to her knees on the spot with a thump.
倒れたよチルチル欲しいんだよ Oh my god なんてこったどうして私の好きになる人はみんな死んじゃうのよさ
This whole episode's just in memoriam.
Yep.
死んでないからちょっと立ちくらみがうえ
Michiru scatters sparkling vomit onto the ground with a sickening gurgle. Oh man, it's the Strong Max incident all over again. Nobody will get that reference. Would this be the so-called double KO?
So, Sashi, in this case, should we declare the winner the one who stands up inside the 10 count?
That's not fair. Amane twisted her ankle. It's going to be very hard for her to stand.
いえもうそういった場合じゃないと思いますすみません風見さん私はみちる様の様子を見ますのであまねさんの方お願いできますか
Roger, Roger.
I knew it.
同時だ
Okay, which is better? 1 or 2? 1 or 2?
あまね大丈夫
I was thinking,
なんかグキって曲がっちゃいけない方に足が曲がってたよね
Latin 4, Jafar may need glasses?
No, I was thinking, Wayne's World. Extreme close-up, whoa!
Alright, I like that reference too.
Probably shouldn't try to stand. If the bone's broken, the pressure might make it break again.
Ugh.
怖いこと言わないでよ
Well, let's just stay put. Let me see your foot.
うん
Amane, supported by our hands, slowly shifts to a sitting position on the mound. I take her right leg in my hand and lift it up to take a look. It's not any worse than I'd expected. Fortunately, there doesn't seem to be a fracture, but there is red swelling beginning around the joint.
Doesn't seem to be broken, but, sprain? Well, if we're unlucky, might be a partial fracture.
捻挫か久しぶり私さ身長の割に足のサイズが小さいから昔からよく転ぶのよね
Either way, it's the infirmary for you. Can you stand?
うんなんとか
That's a no.
Don't put your weight on your right. Just, here, get yourself onto my back. Don't get me that. It's not so bad right now because you're pumped full of adrenaline from the shot, but if you overdo it, you'll be crying. Hurry, get on.
True story.
優しい。どうしたの急に。
Look, I'm not gonna play along with your jokes right now. You're hurt. Stop wasting time. Do what I tell you.
あ、
Taking charge. Amane softly leans her body against my back and grabs the shoulders of my gym uniform somewhat hesitantly.
You need a better grip than that. Wrap your arms around. Get a hold on my neck.
わかったわよ。こう？
As instructed, Amane wraps her arms around my neck, pushing her breasts firmly against my back. Normally, I'd be throwing out a joke or two at this point, but this isn't the time.
Sachi, I'm taking her to the infirmary. How's Michiru?
はい。みちる様は今酸素吸入中です。5分程度で回復すると思われます。
Oh, okay. Wow, she really did knock herself out. Michiru lies flat on the ground, limp as a beached tuna. Sachi's holding a portable can of oxygen to her mouth as we speak.
I'm leaving command of the field to you. Adjust your tactics as the situation advances. Can you handle it, class representative?
はい。小峰幸、いただきます。
For some reason, maybe instinctively reacting to my tone, Sachi raises a hand in a salute toward me.
All right, here we go, Amane.
ごめん。
Not a problem.
This isn't something you need to apologize for. I thought about that response, but ultimately decided against it. The wounded tend to grow timid toward those around them. Better to avoid wording that might make her think of herself as baggage, burdening others. Don't want to increase her anxiety. I keep up a flow of communication, standard procedure, to ensure the wounded doesn't faint out of pain.
Where's the infirmary? Amane, do you know?
その先を右。突き当たりまで行ったら左に行くと保健室があるよ。
We'll be there soon. Try to endure it for the moment.
大げさだな。たかが捻挫だよ。
Don't make light of leg injuries. Soldiers get abandoned when they can't walk. Like
へえって。
I was thinking that too.
いや、まあ、そっか。そうだよね。怪我した子から死んでいくんだよね。
We don't have to get quite that serious about it.
Rest in peace. Don't be glue.
Aw.
Don't worry, Japan won't desert you. And I won't leave you either.
Shouldn't it be rest and paste? Too soon?
No.
ごめんね。
To
私
be fair, it
重いでしょ。
wasn't. Don't be glue was one of the first jokes that I really remember that we had.
Yep. It was a running joke. Was.
Not particularly. 5 bags of rice or so at most.
ちょっと、なんで私の体重知ってるのよ。
I don't. I just happen to know the weight of 5 bags of rice.
I'm used to carrying around heavy luggage on my back, so I can estimate weight from just the feeling on my shoulder.
あのさ、おぶってもらっておいてこんなこと言うのもあれなんだけど。
Nonsense. You're still smiling.
This reminds me of, so you know, like, Silver Age comics had a bunch of weird comics?
Yeah.
There is an issue of Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, where Lois, there is a ray that is supposed to make, like, fruits and vegetables and crops bigger.
Mm-hmm.
To solve world hunger or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, Lois Lane is doing a report on it, and she gets shot with it, and it makes her fat.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of funny jokes in it, but the cover itself is Superman carrying fat Lois Lane, and her being like, covering her face, like, I can't let him discover that it's me. And him being like, oh, sorry, I'm used to carrying around Lois Lane, who's so much lighter. And the idea of Superman acting like he's out of breath when the man can lift like a planet.
I know.
Oh, by the way, it turns out he knew it was her the entire time. Spoilers.
I was about to say.
He did, because he secretly used his super speed to shoot it at her because she had seen a criminal and what was it, like, pointed him out in a lineup. and the criminal had escaped and was going to like go after her and
Okay.
couldn't recognize her if she was fat.
That is quite the convoluted plot line, but okay.
Yep. Anyway, yep. Just reminds me of that for some reason.
All right then.
この場合ね、普通は全然重くないよとかさ、なんかこう
はい
女の子に対して気を使ったりするもんなんじゃないのかな。
Sorry you used all of it in the last episode.
You're lighter than I expected. Probably only looked heavy from your height and that oversized chest. I mean, you got long legs too. That must have thrown me off.
That's better?
足が長いって褒めてくれてるのは嬉しいけど、なんか複雑。ちなみに私の体重ってどれぐらいだと予想してた？
7 bags of rice.
You know, my impression was that you'd be comfortably above 60 kilos.
そういうことを言わないの。
Yeah. As she speaks, Amane sharply tightens her arms into a chokehold around my neck.
Look, stop thrashing around. You'll be the one crying if I drop.
True. I come to a brief halt on the spot and lift Amane's body, which had been sliding down my back, up more firmly around my shoulders.
そっか、今ならユージ君、両手が塞がってるよね。
Literally or figuratively.
What are you planning, woman?
In the next moment, Amane gently closes her eyes. Still clinging tightly to my neck, she brings her lips close. Yep. Yep.
Hey!
I take an immediate evasive action in response to her suspicious movements, but Amane's lips nonetheless press against my cheek. That's not our cheek, but close enough.
ちぇ、避けられちゃったか。
I just listened to Piccolo. What the hell is wrong with this woman? I've got half a mind to drop her on the hallway floor, but we are dealing with an injured party here. I turn my head to the side to stare into Amane's face, finding her blushing in apparent embarrassment. I wouldn't do that, that's gonna set her up. I thought I met her for the first time at this school, but maybe.
何よ、人の顔じっと見て。
It's nothing.
No matter how long or how carefully I study Amane's features, nothing comes to mind. I was entertaining the possibility she might have been some childhood friend I'd parted from in tears or what have you, but I'm pretty well convinced that isn't the case. Which would leave...
Do I look like the lover you were tragically separated from in your previous incarnation? Is that it?
Oh my gosh.
何それ、人を電波扱いしないでよ。っていうか、この学園でそういうこと言わないの。シャレにならないから。
Wait, does that mean that we look suspiciously like somebody else's reincarnated lover?
Yeah. Yeah, hold on.
That doesn't answer any questions at all. Pouting her lips, Amane knocks a fist against my head with a solid thunk.
What are you anyway?
スオアマネ。
Yes, my short-term memory is perfectly fine, thanks.
Every time Amane speaks, her soft breaths strike my ear. Is it just my imagination, or has her body temperature slowly been rising while I've had her on my back? If she's suffered a partial fracture on that ankle, it might be that her body's beginning to generate a fever. Better get a move on. Again lifting Amane further up my back, I hurry to the infirmary.
We need a cowbell. Doc, emergency case. Get a move on.
いや、ドクって。
What's up, Doc? Still carrying Amane, I push my way forcefully into the room and shout for attention, but there's no one here whatsoever, much less a doctor.
Why isn't anyone here? Everyone take a break at once?
うちには保健の先生っていないのよ。とりあえずベッドの上で下ろして。あとは自分でやるから。
We have all of these fancy facilities and nobody to staff them.
There's no doctor? You mean they haven't hired anyone at all to staff this room?
そういうこと。
Wow. For the time being, I lower Amane onto a nearby bed.
保健の先生が来るって話は前からあるんだけど、なかなかいい人が見つからないみたいでね。薬とかは業者の人が来てたまに入れ替えてるみたいなんだけど。
Well, fine. I'll take care of the treatment.
できるの？
I learned first aid at my previous school. I can handle something like this.
I learned combat triage. I kneel in front of Amane's leg, untie and remove her athletic shoe, then take her red, swollen right ankle in my hand.
I'm gonna move it. Tell me if it hurts.
うん。
Her ankle's slender, but compared to her uninjured left foot, it's clearly inflamed pretty badly. I bend Amane's ankle to various angles, carefully searching for the location of her injury. It's not fractured after all, but I think the ligament might have been stretched, or the joint capsule ruptured. Taking a roll of medical tape from the infirmary's first aid kit, I loosely wrap it around Amane's ankle, restricting the range the joint can move. Then retrieve ice from the freezer, stuff it into a bag, and press it over the injury through a towel, relieving the heat of the inflammation.
ありがとう。ずいぶん楽になったわ。手慣れてるのね。
Well, just
I'm accustomed to treating sprains and burns, at least. When I was a kid, I was getting hit pretty much every day, and I still get my fair share of injuries even now.
やっぱり優しいね。ユージくん。
spare me. How exactly am I a nice guy? I just treated an injury. Anybody would do that.
Yeah, but not everybody would know how.
そうやって冷たい態度を取るのは、私に優しいやつだって勘違いされると、甘えられて鬱陶しいから？
Ah, she's seen through my guys. To be honest, Amane's words are pretty close to the bullseye. When human beings find kindness, they naturally take advantage of it. Before they realize it, they've grown dependent on that kindness. They lose their ability to function without it. If I disappeared, what would you do with yourself? My master spoke those words to me when I was still a child.
正直ね、保健室に着いた時点で、じゃあ俺は行くからって言われるのを覚悟してたんだけど、ユージくん、何も言わずに治療してくれたじゃない？驚いちゃった。
All right then.
Yeah,
I'll be going.
there it is. You called it.
Yep.
We can stick with it.
Yep.
As I raise my right hand in farewell, Amane grabs my clothes firmly to prevent my retreat.
ちょっと、怪我をしてナーバスになっている女の子を一人にする気？もう少し一緒にいなさい。
What part of you is nervous?
Just stay in the Poke Center. Dun 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 dun.
All better. Am I the only one who thinks she should be slightly more nervous about being alone with a teenage male in this room, which has a bed, when her leg is injured to the point that she can't walk?
What do you want from me? If you have something to say, spit it out.
じゃあ、はっきり言うけど、ねえ、私の彼氏になってよ。
Well, that is to the point.
All right, going for it, huh?
Yeah, points to her.
Yeah. No, shoot the shot. I respect it.
Yeah.
What?
聞こえなかったかな？もう一度言おうか？
Why are you saying this?
君のことが好きだから。
Already?
Since when?
初めて会った時からずっと一目惚れってやつかな。
Okay.
Huh.
Are you running a fever?
なんか冷たい反応。私の言ってることを信じてないでしょ。
Then let me ask. Which part of me did you fall in love with?
そうね。なんかダメ男っぽいところ？私さ、こいつ私がいなかったらどうやって生きていくんだろうみたいな、そういう男に弱いみたい。
Are you kidding? His self-preservation is far stronger than anybody else here.
When you say self-preservation, it just reminds me of the Seinfeld episode where George is pushing down like the old woman and everybody else to get out of the fire drill.
Oh, yeah. You know?
I see. I can't say I have a problem with reliable women myself.
あ、マジで？それって好都合じゃない？どうする？じゃあ付き合っちゃおうか。
Is this the first choice?
Choice.
What does this girl think she's grinning about? Momentarily speechless with bemusement, I hold my right palm to my forehead and run it up through my hair.
Look, is teasing me that much fun?
そういう言われ方は心外なんだけど。じゃあさ、彼氏がダメならお姉ちゃんになってあげる。
I mean, you fit the larger sister.
What?
優しくて綺麗なお姉さん欲しくない？
I regret to inform you that we are not hiring big sisters at the present time.
But we'll keep your resume on file.
いつ募集するの？
We anticipate no vacancies until doomsday.
なんだよそれ。
No, we can give you a sprain though.
That's my line, idiot.
Shifting my grip on the ice pack, I give Amane a slap on the ankle.
もう女の子いじめて楽しい？
Yeah, that was kind of cruel.
Let's see. If you make it to a yes-no question, then yes. I think I'd be safely on the enjoys bullying girl side.
サディストか。でも大丈夫。私ってこう見えてもド M だから。
Huh.
Just what do you want from me exactly?
ねえ、どうしてもダメなの？なんか女としての自信なくすな。
Ask again later?
I'm trying to reject you, but don't you think you're rushing things here?
時期尚早という言葉を使う人はきっと10年経っても同じことを言うよね。
Well, that's a little bit more on the nose than you would think. It's actually a little bit closer to 15 years.
Look, we're not talking about politics here.
だから彼女は諦めてお姉ちゃんになるって言ってるじゃない。ね？
You know, starting off by asking for the sky and then dragging out concessions as a compromise. You really do think you're a politician.
Good tactic, though.
そろそろ私も傷つくぞ。
Yeah, but just your ankle.
Yeah, it's her Achilles ankle. I drop my shoulders in an exaggerated gesture and heave a heavy sigh. I'm sure this girl intends to continue this aggressive pursuit until I tell her what she wants to hear. It would be a serious pain in the ass if she tried to push me any harder than this. As a point of compromise, this is probably right at the limit of my tolerance.
Yeah, I get it. You want to play the big sister that badly, I'll go along.
If there was a mirror in front of me as I speak these words, I'd be staring into the face of a man with the word reluctant stamped on his forehead. Might this have been a hasty decision? Indifferent to my shame and regret, Amane beams happily, dropping her hand on top of my head with a gentle thump in grand big sister style.
ならばよろしい。これからはお姉ちゃんって呼ぶんだぞ。
Oh, good.
Oh no. You know, don't think this means you can pet my head whenever you feel.
It just turns into a petting chain. She pets us, we pet
Yep.
Machina. Machina pets the crawfish? I don't know. Although I don't go so far as to push Amane's hand away, I can't say this is an especially pleasant feeling. Dutiful and clever dogs, as a rule, don't wag their tails when someone other than their master pets their head. Alright then. That was an interesting place to end that scene.
Sure, why not?
I think this is a good place to stop this episode. That was something. We got to see a weird amalgam of a sports event that evolved into something entirely different. I don't know a better way to describe it than that. And we got a confession? I'm honestly not sure how serious it is. With Amane, it kind of feels like it is serious, but we successfully acquired a big sister type. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can stick that in our inventory next to the bee. We'll forget about it later. Anyway, I think that's all I've got. Do you have anything?
No, not really. I really like it. I like
I do too.
like the last 2 episodes. We've really gotten more on the Machina and now Amane.
No, Amane. Yeah, I agree. I'm really enjoying seeing this, and I'm assuming that that trend will kind of continue. We'll probably do similar things with Michiru and Sakaki and Sachi in the next few episodes. Hopefully, I'm sure you all have noticed, hopefully we can work out the audio issues. Don't know what's going on, probably Discord, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, we're doing the best we can, unfortunately. Please bear with us. We'll just cross our fingers. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.